And I really get on well with Tank. Like I respect him. I think he's a great fighter. Like I couldn't say anything bad about him. You know, I mean, I know that me and Leonard Ellerby have our back and forths, but the kid is a star, right? And he's a great fighter, and there's nothing negative to say about him in boxing. And he just said to me, you know, those guys, like, they're not making my money. I'm not actually sure about that, you know, but it's like you're missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not saying that they're making your money. I don't actually believe that comment, but I'm just saying we just want to see it. And, you know, it's very, very simple. Oscar says that show did 90,000 buys. Leonard Ellerby says that show did 215,000 buys. Whatever. Call it 200,000 pay-per-view buys. At some point, you have to realise that the other side will make a major contribution to the pay-per-view element, right? So if Tank boxed Devin Haney, how many buys does that do? 5, 6, 700,000 buys. If Tank boxed Teofimo, same. If Tank boxed Ryan Garcia, and that's, you know, that's a big one as well. Much respect to Tank, love the guy, love the fighter. In this instance, I just sit there as a fan and someone promoting Devin Haney and saying, it's not a good look to say, I'm making loads of money, I don't need you guys, you're desperate, you need me. No, because they bring you a lot. They bring you a lot. You know, 200,000 buys is not a lot. And you know, when you talk about restricting an audience, right?
Yeah.
You know, 200,000 people, the audience for that fight in America. That is not a lot.
Nah, I mean, I couldn't agree.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. Wow. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd doing way too much in the corner. Mayweather and Gervonta. Tank Davis. Their egos just got pricked by Hearn, no doubt. How many times did Hearn have to tell them, man? Not a lot. How about that? Yeah? Eddie, not a lot, Hearn. Your pay-per-views weren't doing a lot, is what Eddie said. Not a lot. Yeah? Gervonta, not a lot. Davis. That's your new name. Wow, that's peak. I'm sorry, that's peak. Gervonta, not a lot, Davis. Because to be fair, Eddie Hearn kept it relatively respectful. He focused on the pay-per-view, but I hate to break it to you. Yeah? That thing, that little phrase there, not a lot. It's trilingual, yeah? It's trilingual. Not even sure that's what I mean, but either way, it's 3 things, got 3 meanings, no doubt. Because not only is your pay-per-views not a lot, your competition is also not a lot. What else is not a lot? I'm trying to think. Either way, it's not a lot. How about that? There's a whole bag of things in your life right now, Tank, that are not a lot. Your pay-per-views, not a lot. Your competition, not a lot. The bombers you're fighting, not a lot. Floyd Mayweather in the corner, too much. That was a lot, actually, tell a lie. Mayweather all in the corner, way too much. Yeah? But listen. listen, Tank. Eddie Hearn's in a difficult situation. You can tell that he's been semi-castrated right now. He's trying to hold it in, but even half holding it in, he told you straight, not a lot, but 3 times, back to back. Eddie Hearn don't lie. The numbers you man are all jerking off over 200k buys. Listen, 200k buys, that's baby weight. Now I know it looks good because you're used to looking at Wilder's numbers, but in the UK, yeah, let me educate you, man, real quick. The UK is 6 times smaller than the US. Us man are doing that many buys for fun. Chisora doing that many buys, no doubt. Chisora doing that many buys. Now you can talk about the number, but this is more. Who cares? End of the day, you got 6 times as many man, which means you got 6 times as many millionaires and everything else. In fact, you got even more than that because proportionately, economically speaking, the US is proportionately higher than the UK anyway. But listen, end of the day, 200k is not a lot. Yeah. And the way you manage, it's one thing, yeah, if you was doing mad numbers, like 6, 7, 8, 1 mil, I'd get it. I'd be like, well, you know what, he's doing big man numbers, fighting bums. But you're doing not a lot numbers, fighting not a lot bums. So what are you doing? Because you ain't really smashing it with the numbers. You ain't really smashing it with the competition, so what are you doing? And that's what Eddie Hearn essentially got to. From the fans' point of view, sitting there talking about the money which you ain't even really making, that's what I don't get. Like I said, if you was doing 1 million pay-per-view buys, and you want to sit there like Floyd Mayweather, he'd say, oh man, you know what? I'm Money Mayweather, and if he wants to be goofy, to an extent he'd kind of earned it, but you, trying to give it the whole goofiness at 200k buys, you're looking super silly right now. You're looking super silly right now. But to be fair to you, Tank, yeah, is fighting proper bummy competition. So actually, 200k buys for the bummy competition is fine, isn't bad. And actually, I do agree with De La Hoya. I think De La Hoya's right. I don't think he did 200k to save his life. Think about it, yeah? Yes, Tank's semi-popular. In fact, I'm going to do this in a separate video, but yes, Tank's semi-popular, but think about it. Andre Ward, you can't tell me Andre Ward and Kovalev did less buys than Tank versus some bum. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Yeah, I know Andre Ward wasn't a massive name, but Andre Ward had been boxing for 15 years. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. And Kovalev was a big name in the boxing circle. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I don't believe people bought more Tank and versus some bum than they did for that pay-per-view. Sorry, for that pound for pound fight between Andre Ward and Kovalev. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I just don't. And when you think about it, even Fury and Wilder, for example. Fury and Wilder, again, their first fight, they only did 280k buys or something. So you want me to believe that, I'm sorry, as much as Wilder and Fury aren't known, they're still more known than Tank. Don't know one know Tank, that's the thing as well. Tank isn't a big name either. Yeah? Let's call a spade it. Don't know one know Tank. In fact, let me check something out right now. Tank Davis. I'm going to check his Instagram followers out. Let's see how big, that's how well, because really, Instagram followers is a pretty good base to see how well known you are. Yeah? Let's call a spade. Let's see how well known Tank is, yeah? Because Tank like to talk about big numbers and big monies. But you ain't big drama show. That's your problem, Tank. You ain't big drama show. You fight big bum show. How about that? You love to fight a bum, Tank, and don't no one want to see it no more. We want to see the big fights. And what makes it worse is that you're in one of the most contested divisions. Yeah? Your division is popping, yeah? Popping. But yet you run off to 140 and you don't even want to do the real work there. And that's another thing. To add insult to injury, you then stay doing super goofy things. Trying to make up, oh well, you know, oh, no, oh man, you know, I'm the 140 champion. And Josh Taylor, he's scary looking. And you know, he not the real champion. That's just goofy, I'm sorry. That is real goofy. It's one thing to do a pay-per-view against a bum and it not do many numbers and it be against a bum. It's another thing to do a pay-per-view against a bum and it not do real numbers. And you try and make out it was. You know what I'm saying? You try and make out something it's not. And I blame Floyd, because only Floyd can sit there and make everything about the numbers, despite fighting bum competition no one wants to see. And that's the thing that Tank 3 needs to ask himself. Tank at this point, he needs someone real like the YB around him. Someone who's not just going to sit there and stay rubbing his jeb end for him. Because at the moment, everyone's on Tank's jeb end, just rubbing it. Waiting for the magic sauce. That's how it feels to me. No one's honest with him. Because I'll be honest, I say, listen, Tank. Yeah, if I could sit here, like the rest of your team and Floyd, and just stay stroking you off for the longest time, and keep you real happy, and make you real excited. Yeah? We could all sit there and keep milking for the special Tank juice. Or we can be honest with ourselves. And I'll tell you, listen, Tank. If you're doing 200k buys versus some random Mario Kart looking ass, how many buys? You know what I'm saying? If you're jerking off over 200k buys, how many buys would you be doing? Like Eddie Hearn pointed out, 500k. I'm not sure about 600-700, but 500k. Let's call it. Let's start there. That's 2.5 times as much. Now I guess you can argue, well, I'm getting paid X amount to fight a bum, and that's the problem with boxing. And tell a lie, actually. That in itself proves it's a lie. There's no way Tank doing 200k versus a bum. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I just don't. Simple as that. I don't believe Tank doing that many numbers against a bum. I just don't believe it. And you can look at his Instagram numbers. His Instagram numbers are no better than Deontay Wilder's. And Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, who is unknown. And that did how much? 300k? Well, no, tell you, Luis Ortiz is unknown, but he's more known than Mario Kart Don. And also, you've got to remember, that's heavyweight. Wilder and Ortiz did, I think, 200 and something buys. Ortiz is 1,000,000 years old. He's been... he benefited from all the marketing from the Catskills with Mike Tyson. So he's got all that kind of that 90s hype around him. So if Wilder, who's got all them KO highlight reel things, and Wilder, who's fighting someone who's alright, you didn't know Mario Kart until you fought him. That's the truth. And you're small fry as well, as in 130 pounds soaking wet. So there's no way you sold 200k buys. I think De La Hoya's right. You sold 90 at best. Truth be known. That's the honest truth. You didn't sell 215. You're lying to yourself. Yeah? Honestly, you're lying to yourself. If you think you did that many. You didn't. There's no way. There's no way you sold that many versus Mario Kart. And even if you did, guess what? Why not make more? At some point, Tank, you're going to have to tell all these people, because at the moment you've got about 10 man who just stay stroking the end of your jab end for you. At some point you're going to have to say, listen guys, I appreciate I appreciate there's 10, 40-year-old man right now paying a whole load of attention to the end of my jab. However, I've outgrown this now. It's about time you man back off, keep your hands to yourself, and I'm going to kind of take this one on my own. Let me step up and start really making it out there in the world on my own. The world's a big place, Tank. Yeah, the world is a big, big place. And at the moment, you're not a lot. How about that? You ain't doing a lot. Eddie Hearn already told you. Eddie Hearn was trying to be nice as he can because he don't want to scare you off like he scared Wilder off. Oh, mate, you know, I'm not going to fight him because he's so disrespectful. That's what Wilder said. After Eddie Hearn aired out Wilder, Wilder went crying about he used it as an excuse. I hope you're not that bad. But then again, knowing Leonard Ellaby, knowing Mr. Nose, yeah, he listen. Mr. Nose is hella petty, and we know for a fact Floyd is wow petty. So listen, end of the day, Tank, just step up, man. How about that? Why have I got to make these videos for? Why does Eddie Hearn have to talk about not a lot? Why do you have to be known as Tank Not a Lot Davis? Why do I have to make this video talking about man rubbing your jab end for you, waiting for the magic juice to pop out? Why do I have to do that for? I hate doing it. People say, YB, you're sussing, YB, pause, and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to be making these videos. How about that? How about you go in there, put some work in properly, stop being goofy talking about dead numbers you ain't doing. That's the great. Do you know how crazy it is? Do you know how mad it is to brag about numbers that you ain't doing? Man, oh man, you know, I'm doing big numbers and I'm doing 200. You ain't do. That's the thing, Tank. But you didn't do 200k, did you? You did 90k soaking wet. That's the truth. De La Hoya didn't lie. You did 90k. That's the honest truth. Yeah? Stop lying to yourself. Oh, man, you know, well, we did. You didn't. How about that? You didn't do it. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of having to say the same thing every day in and out with you. And what makes it worse for me is, I come down hardest, yeah, on people who I think have talent. The reason I air AJ out a lot recently is because, similar to you, I see he has a lot of talent. However, you're kind of different in different ways. AJ has a lot of talent, but his training team are shite. You have a lot of talent. Your training team's good, but you're just too. It's almost like you and AJ would make the perfect fighter. AJ has all the talent and wants to fight, but has a shit training team. You have all the talent, have a good training team, but you shit your pants and don't want to get in there with someone half decent. You both need a bit. AJ needs some of your training, and you needed some of AJ's nuts. Because at the moment you're both taking big L's. And to be fair, you're a lot worse than AJ. At least AJ ain't scary. You're scary looking. You listen, Tank. You be doing the most scariness. You say you're from Baltimore. Where's the Baltimore then? Because at the moment you're fighting Mario Kart, and you're talking about numbers. I thought you meant to be an on-site gunman. Yeah, where's the gun? Oh man, you know, I got 200k bars, and how about get in there with all the 135ers? Teofimo Ho been taking your easy work for you, and now you're looking silly. To be fair though, Lomachenko gonna get that get back in my opinion, and then maybe fate will work out if you grow some nuts. That's what I worry about. I worry that Teofimo is going to get turned over by Lomachenko, at which point you're going to shake your pants and think, oops, I don't really want none of that Lomachenko. That's what I fear for the most right now. Because you've got a scary looking ass team who won't ever let you step up. Floyd, he's a sheep in wolf clothing. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, rather. You think he wants the best for you? He wants you to stay limited. He wants you to stay fighting all the bums you can. Because, to be fair, at your age, Floyd was stepping up to fight names at least. He was fighting old names. You're not fighting no ones. Like, for example, Lomachenko, yeah, is your De La Hoya. Or is his De La Hoya. Same kind of stuff. Old. But you don't want to step up and handle the light work. Floyd, at his age, had beat his De La Hoya. You, that's too scary. You just stay scary. No doubt. You love being scary. Need to fix up. Or you're going to end up being known as the fighter who, whole bag of man, just stay there stroking off. And you just enjoy it. Oh man, well, you know, I do numbers. Doing numbers doesn't take away from the fact that there's a whole bag of man who don't tell you the truth. Don't be that guy, Tank. Yeah? Don't be not a lot. Please don't end your career being known as Gervonta, not a lot Davis. Because, like I started the video off saying, you know, the numbers you're doing are not a lot. The competition you're fighting is not a lot. Overall, not a lot.